Since I don't have chalk paint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Mod Podge. I've got the mat, and I'm just going to put that on these bottles. I've already done 2. Making sure any of the excess isn't pulled by some of the lettering. And I'm just going to get these all covered. That way the acrylic paint that I have, since I don't have chalk paint, will adhere a little bit better. Because I do want these white. I don't know what that squeaking sound is, but... So while I wait for these to dry, I will be back with the next step. Only 50 cents a piece. And it's still a bit yellow because it will dry darker. I think that's gonna be a good color. Yeah, I like that. Kind of an antique white. So we're gonna go with that. And now I'm going to paint these bottles. I probably need a couple of coats. Making sure you fill in. Yeah, I'll definitely need a couple of coats. Oh. Prevent some of this streaking here. I'll probably go a different direction with the next coat and then do a third, pulling the paint down again. But by going in the opposite direction, you're filling in all those lines in a different manner, so it's a better coverage. And that's from my years of doing ceramic plaster pieces. Let me make sure I got in between all these little letters. And I'll let that one dry. Okay, so I painted my bottles, and I actually put a few more coats on here. I ended up, for the final coat, I ended up mixing just the white and the gloss Mod Podge and put that on, so I've got a nice glaze on here. And now I've also done the box, which there are pictures of, and I don't have a description, but what it is I took the bottom of a oatmeal box, cut it down. Boxes come in handy for so many things. Food boxes, some weird shaped present you might have. If you have an empty, let's say, spaghetti box, you have something long and thin, you have nothing to put it in. Food boxes come in really handy. So they can be used, and that's what I use for this. I just I reinforced it with extra cardboard, and then I painted it with the white and Mod Podge. So the box is ready. The jars are painted. And now, because of some greens that I want to put in there, I'm using, these are the dollar store ones. And because I just want to frost them up a bit, I'm just taking my foam brush and dry brushing basically with the foam. And just get a little bit on there, stamp it out, and lightly do this. Because they're a different color, and I didn't want such a harsh green. And I've got these two, which are different color, and these came from Walmart. I couldn't find these at the dollar store at the time, so I have the Walmart one, and these will get a light dusting as well. Just to, tone it down. I think I have my ribbon, or kind of have my ribbon picked out, but we'll get to that one in a minute. Well, a minute for y'all, but not for me. I did another project last night that I'm going to do another one on. I just did the prototype. So I was busy working on kind of both at the same time. But that's where we're at right now. I'll be back. Because the cord doesn't really match the grain of the wood paper that I found. I'm taking the jute twine, making it darker. And it's a little bit, tedious, but to desire, or to get the look that I desire, and then it's necessary. And that is what I did with the box. And I added a little bit of I did some here just to define it, and I did some on the front. I'm not doing it on the back because nobody's going to see that. So that's where we're at. We're painting jute. It's a little bit of dry brushing basically. Just take some paint, wipe off the excess, and spin it so you're getting all the sides. Try and pick some of that excess up, and just continue. So I've done this much so far, and I only have, it's getting hot, this much to go. So we're almost there. So I've decided on two of them. Bad angle, I know, I'm sorry. I'm going to do my painted jute. I think. And the third one, which will be in the middle because I've done this to 2 now. Get a little extra fibers cut off. Happen to pull some out when painting. I'll probably go with just plain ribbons though. I know it's a really bad angle. Oh, I have a kitty. Go figure. Okay. Alright, I know I bought it, but I think I'm going to cave and go with the Buffalo Plaid check. Everybody's doing it. Yeah. But I think with the blackened jute, it actually kind of goes pretty well. And there's going to be berries and whatnot added in. So this is what we're going with. I don't use a lot of red in my decorating. I kind of have a more traditional style. And guess what? We have a kitty. But, yes, oh, she's falling down. But, so, I use a lot of green and silver, white. But yeah, I think we're going to go with this. We're going to change things up. I'm going to try new things this year, so this is what we're going for. It's going to look really, I think, really cute with the, let's just, and then once we decorate or, you know, put the greens and the berries and everything is going to look pretty tied in together, pretty cute. So I took the last of what I had for the painted jute cord. I had a cat on my lap. And I added a couple of more layers just to kind of even it out. But that's where we're sitting. Okay, so I can't find the cotton stocks. Definitely not at my Dollar Tree. And I did find them at Hobby Lobby, but I didn't want to pay the price, and I found these. And I don't remember how much I paid for them, but they were 70% off because they were in the fall decor, so I can still use them. But because I have skewers, but because I don't want, I'm sorry, the color of the skewer is showing through, I'm just going to take some florist tape. Make sure that's down there. And just spin that around to cover what may be poking out of the vase. And let's see. I think I want this one a little bit higher. I've gone ahead and actually got some stuff in there because this foraging ahead. But I think, yep, I want this $1. Not that tall. Make sure it goes in. Let me see. It's still a little bit too tall for me. Well, I've just taken apart some picks, and you can do whatever you want. I had these came last year. I got these last year and took that apart. in here, oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. I'll show you in a second. I also, just to show you some of the stuff, we'll get to the that product in a moment. But I also wanted, I thought, I'll add some loops. And this is wired ribbon. You just make one loop, and then you bring it up, make it even. So, I want to make loops. And what you do, since my camera decided to shut off because it was full, you take a piece of ribbon, you just make a loop, fold it back over. That one's too big, I had it. Fold it back over. So you have 2 loops. You can do 3 too. You just repeat that process, and you take a stick of skewer, stick it under one of these end pieces. I already cut a piece of wire. This one. And you wrap it. I suggest you use a plier of some sort to really get it around there tight so it doesn't pop off. And I do feel it spinning in there a little bit, but that's alright. I don't plan on messing with it once it's in. So, measure that down. Perfect. I'll show you what I have going on over here in a second. Alright, so I've done the cotton. I've done that. And I'm pretty much done with this piece, which I will be showing you. Get that out of the way. I need that for the berries. I still need those. Unless I decide to add more to it. Alright. So, like I said, you can add whatever floral. These are old. They, I got these a couple years ago at the Hobby Lobby. And I just cut them apart and use these. And here, I just have berries and a pine cone and my loop. And that's to tie in with that. So I took one of these stems, these tree ties, just kind of bent it in the middle. I just stick it right in the top, just for filler. I have another one. I did the same. So at this point, that is how it's looking. And now to fill in here with what I had frosted, and I had a few ideas. I'm not quite sure what to do with it though. So I don't want it to be too busy. So I think, and I don't want to just start cutting these willy-nilly. A little bit long. Nice thing about wires is you can manipulate them. Turn it so I can see it. Oh, I got one more piece of that. And in the back, I'll take these Dollar Tree ones. I've got 2 extra pieces, one from the Dollar Tree and one from Walmart. I'll just stick them in there. Works for me. Again, you can do your fill any way you want. It's just whatever makes you happy, and if you take it apart a few times, you take it apart a few times. So I do have a few extra things. Hopefully this is warm. Yep. I'm just going to add a couple of these pine cones. Well, 3. Because everything in nature is imperfect. So it's usually use an odd number. And I read something that if you look at like flowers, most flowers have an odd number of petals. Make sure that's not clean in my bottle. Just the greens. I mean, if it does, it does, but I prefer not to do cleanup or redo. So, and I grabbed these because these berries, compared to all the other ones, are tiny. So I'm just going to take a couple of small sprigs. One has a stem. Oh, it's going to get, okay, that works for me. Alright, I think this is something I can live with. Let's move this around. Let's not fall down. Kind of sitting there. Alright, I think I'm done. And here is my little